Hey everyone, it's Justin again with Voices for Voices. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the show. Welcome to viewers and listeners here in the United States and across the world. Now we're getting close to 100 countries, so uh, it's really taken off, and it's because of you why we do this. Whether you're watching or listening, the easiest way to listen is to go to www.voicesforvoices.org/podcast. And the best thing about that is you'll be able to catch the most recent podcast at the top of the list. But we're also on, the bigger platforms, the Spotify, Apple, iHeart, you name it, we're on it. And then as well on kind of the TV and the video side on our YouTube channel, as well as our Rumble channel. And if you can help us out by smashing that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, like, follow, share, all those things are free to do and helps us get closer to mine and the organization's. One of our big goals is to help 3 billion people over the course of my lifetime and beyond. And it's because of you, our viewers, our listeners, that we're able to be getting closer and closer each and every day. Today, we want to welcome to the show Bethany. She's coming to us from Kentucky, Floyd County, which is, as she mentioned, off camera. Before we got started, it's a couple minutes away from Letcher County, which you may or may not be familiar
Yeah.
with. There's uh, a case that's going on. The trial hasn't even started yet, but what we're what we started to find out is that the case where Sheriff Mickey Steins went into Judge Mullen's chambers and fired his firearm and several times and ended up killing the Judge Mullins. And as time has gone on, we have, as an organization, when we were started to be made aware of uh, some some taboos, some things that shouldn't be going on and shouldn't have gone on, and some people have looked away for far too long, that we want to make sure that we do the best thing we can and do the best justice we can for those individuals who are survivors and sharing their story. And so, Bethany, thank you so much for joining us.
You're very welcome.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me.
absolutely. I, if maybe you want to talk, I don't know, like growing up and what you had interest
Okay.
in, and then getting into as things progress, things you notice, things that have happened to you, to others.
Okay. All right. um, I've been in Floyd County basically all my life. And my dad was uh, a great guy. He was a basketball player. He played for UK back in the 70s and worked for the transportation department for quite a few years. We were very close. And anyway, he was murdered in 2013, and I've been
Oh,
trying to get justice for him ever since. But a little bit of backstory on that is so growing up, um, my mom was horrible to me, like extremely horrible. And she was just cruel. My grandmother raised me, basically. Um, but when I got to be about 12 years old, I was pretty heavy, and she took me to the fat doctor, and they put me on a drug called fen, which is like meth in a pill, basically. And it burnt the fat off of me at the time, but it was only on the market for a very short time. It was an extremely dangerous drug, and it's they took it off the market within a couple months. They've never brought it back, for whatever reason. But then when I got to be about 13, she was prescribed Xanax,
Mm.
and she gave them to me every month at 13, 14, 15, and I became addicted. And that progressed, and I fought addiction for many years. I had a horrible time trying to just come back from that. She sent me down a really dark road, and I'm grateful now that I'm about 3.5 years clean. So, but it took most of my life, but I'm grateful to be clean. But
Congratulations on that.
anyways, so, well, thank you. I appreciate that. So in about 2007, I had my son. Okay. My mom, Connie, wanted to move out of a beautiful 3-story brick home that my dad had built her into my grandmother's home. And looking back now, I'm almost positive she only wanted to do that to get into their financial records, and things, their documents. But so he agreed to move in, and then I met. So we were all living there. I met my ex, but
Mhm.
so I met Mike. His name was Mike, and my mom and my brother knew him very well prior to me ever getting with him.
Mhm.
So I got with him in 2012. It was the worst mistake I ever made. But anyway, so very abusive relationship. um, in 2013, my dad passes,
Mhm.
and it was very odd circumstances, extremely. Um, the cops said that it was a suicide, but it was not a suicide. They didn't investigate anything whatsoever, nothing. My grandmother was home that day, and she told me over and over, Beth, I heard 3 gunshots, you know. And so when she told me that, when I questioned Connie about it, she threw her in the nursing home out of her own home, you know. And then she passed weirdly, my grandmother, in no time. In 2014, she passed. It was very odd as well. She was at Pikeville Medical Center when she passed, but it was just very odd, you know. Um, and then, so after that, she uh, wanted me to sign some papers. Connie did. I was totally, grieving them,
Mhm.
and was going through a whole lot of things, and I never dreamed that she would have been so evil, But she said, Here, I need you to sign this. If not, the bank's going to take the home, my grandmother's home, which they had
Mhm.
had for like 50 years or, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I signed it. And later on, I find out that I guess that wasn't what it was really that I signed. She's lied to me about everything. I never got a notice to be at probate court after my dad or my grandmother passed. Nobody ever told me anything whatsoever. and they've stolen a legacy, my grandfather's legacy. He sold life insurance for many years and started a couple businesses. There's a very well known insurance company in Prestonsburg still yet today that he was a founding member of, and there was a lot of money there, and she's stolen it,
Oh,
She jerked my child from me, my only child. After she tore her house down, she stole the home and then had it torn down. My grandmother's, and rips my child. And I'm like, I thought she was doing it. I didn't know what. At the time, I thought I could trust her. I've just been trying to put this together on my own and had to investigate things on my own, and you know, but for years. But I've got so much proof; it's unreal at the
mm,
things I've found. Uh, Deeds that are falsified, just all
yeah.
kinds of things. She hid my dad's will, changed my grandmother's will like 2 weeks before she passed,
Mm,
and has gotten by with all this stuff, and my identity's been stolen. My inheritance is stolen. My child, my home, my mail, you
oh,
know, and I've been begging for help. I've been everywhere. I've been to lawyers, cops,
mhm,
judges, and they just basically, they turn me away, and I don't, I need help,
mhm.
so
Yeah, and that's where
that,
that's I'm sorry that it seems like every direction at every point in your life somebody was there, right? People that we love or thought we loved, and when things happen and don't, and then to the point of something not being investigated, we look at law enforcement and we want to believe that they're uh, not not that they're always going to be on our side. Obviously, if we're breaking the law, they're not going to be on our side. But when it comes to, a death and those types of things, that they're going to do the due diligence and not try to twist things around. And it's just
just
uh
do what's right.
yeah, and so for you to share it, for you to share your voice and talk about after all these years and all these setbacks, I just want to say you're incredibly strong to be able to do this because
Thank you.
trust me, your story is going to be watched. It is going to be listened to uh, across the world, and I can guarantee just
I
about
appreciate
that at least one person, you're going to help at least one person that's been through the ringer and might just say, you know what, Bethany, she's on this show, and I don't even know how I ended up on listening and watching the show. And she got through it, and she's getting through, and 1 minute, 1 hour, one day at a time. And so I want to say again, just thank you for sharing your voice because it's people like you that others sitting at home or in a bad spot and like, oh, you know what? They may be close to that ledge and going, you know what? What's the use? What else do I have here
you.
to
Yeah,
do? And just want to say again, thank you for doing it and sharing your time because it's important and as the name of our organization, Voices for Voices, that we're not just voices for ourselves, but there's a lot of people that we're voices for, whether we know it or not.
yeah, yeah. I hope I can help someone. I'm a
Absolutely.
very big hearted person. I would
Yeah,
love to help others. So,
absolutely. So when so kind of as the years go by, uh I don't want to say like, is there any, I know there's probably things other than what you've already explained that have kind
Um,
of like alarms and bells have gone off. Have have you been able to get any closure on any of those areas, or are things, it sounds like just a nightmare everywhere you turn.
you're right. That's how I explain it to people. Basically, it's like I'm living in a never-ending nightmare, you know?
Hmm.
Investigating things. Like I said, I've found so much that's just not right. It's not, nothing's done right. It's the paperwork, you know, and it's frustrating when you can't get somebody to help you. You know, I've been to lawyer after lawyer, and I don't understand why I keep getting turned away. That there was one in Prestonsburg that said, "Well, yeah, I'll help you. Bring me $2,300, and
Mm,
we'll do the probate stuff and all that." And so, took him $2,300. He did absolutely nothing. 6 or 8 months passes, and I go down, and I'm like, "Man, just give me my money back if you're not going to help me." And he's like,
hmm.
"Well, here's your 200 out of 2,300, you know,
Oh,
and done nothing whatsoever." So
and I'll
it's
just
been,
say I don't I'll say like I met virtually, and I hope he's not one of the ones that you've had bad really bad time with. But Ned Pillersdorf, I think he lives uh practices in Floyd, and I think also in Letcher, and maybe it's a statewide license that
yeah,
if he's able to practice in one county, he can do the other. Because of this Judge Mullins case, I saw him on national show. Anybody watching or listening probably knows
oh
what
yeah,
that knows what that is. But he was so kind just to
yeah.
sit down and have a conversation. And I don't know what his rates are. I don't know any of that. But and, like I said, if you've already talked to him, and I hope that he
No,
didn't
that was the one that
do
done that, but
okay.
no, he didn't do that. But but I have been to him before and asked him for help. It was several years back. Um, but he
Nothing ever worked
turned, you
out.
know, he's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. No. So
Yeah. Well, keep on
there's
looking,
there's
and
big ticket.
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
There's a yeah. No, you're fine. There's several properties around here that my dad and grandparents owned that are large businesses. You know, and I don't know if that's got something to, like, if it's funding. Um, One of them is a bingo place, for
Hmm.
instance. You know, I don't know if it's funding, like, I don't know, the police or what. You know, I mean, I feel that way, or you know, maybe that's why they won't help me. I don't know. I'm trying to put it together. That's what it feels like to me. You know, um,
Yeah.
it's uh, it's horrible. You know, uh, it's really bad. You know, uh, Connie's, one of her first jobs was at a bank,
Okay.
and I feel in my heart and soul that she saw what was in my grandparents' account or whatever, and kind of preyed on my dad basically, because
Oh my.
she's like I said, she's just very, yeah, very evil, and but does it like covertly, kind of like, I've never a narcissist completely, you know, but I didn't know
Mhm.
what a narcissist was until just recently, you know, not long ago. We didn't know what narcissists were 10
Exactly.
years ago. You know what I mean? Never
Hmm.
heard of that word. But she's definitely, that's what she is, you know, pure evil. And I don't know how I've hung in there all these years. Honestly, I've really battled with a lot. things. Just trying to hang in there has been really hard, honestly. Some days are harder than others, and just I just pray my little heart out and constantly, ask God to help me, help me make it through and help me, get justice for my family because I know, I hate to say it, but I know she was behind it,
Yeah.
everything that's happened for financial gain. It's very obvious, you know what I'm saying? That's why I don't understand why the cops don't intervene. I thought that's what their job was supposed to do was to, you know, look into stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like
Yeah.
they just turn their heads, like they don't know what's going on. And it's very obvious,
Yeah.
So
If
and I've been kicked out.
okay, go ahead. Yeah.
I've been kicked out of the family, just like kicked to the curb, kind
Oh.
of, since she's stolen everything. Yeah, I don't speak to none of them. So I've lost everybody,
Mm.
having to go through all this. It's been horribly traumatizing. So
And I'm glad you brought it up, because it's something I also have. Uh, there's obviously there's very difficult days, and with the whole turning the clock back, that this it doesn't really help me because I among other things, the seasonal affective disorder with the lack of sunlight is it definitely plays uh, a role in how we just process life on a day-to-day basis. It's hard to sometimes just to get out of bed, to brush our teeth, to get a shower, and
yeah,
to others, they're like, well, it doesn't take a lot of energy, and it's like, well, it just anyways, so enough no, not enough about me. Uh so uh
yeah,
how have you been able to get through adversity after adversity after adversity? I'm glad you brought up what I was trying to get to, but my words were escaping me. Was I'm glad you brought up the faith in God and that I've really different times in my life have fallen away and keep coming back and try to make it, even if it's just prayer, like just real small prayers of like, I don't know what I need to pray for. I don't know what I
yeah,
need. Help me just get through
right.
the day or get through the night. So how has that helped? Because
Yeah.
we have a lot of faithful individuals that do follow. So
Oh,
they'd love
yeah.
to hear your how you go about that.
Oh, the good Lord is definitely that. He's the only reason that I'm sitting here right now because I know I was beat on all the time. They poisoned me. I've got my medical records to prove that. Um,
Mm,
like I said, ripped my child from me. It's been horrible, but the good Lord is what's helped me get through. Just and the love for my child to know that I've got to stop this somehow, some way, because I don't want my child to have to,
mm,
uh, you know, going on with this woman that he's young and he doesn't understand the evil in this world. Yeah, he's just turned 18. You know what I mean?
okay, yeah.
And he it took me a long time to figure out, hey, this is coming from my mom. You know what I mean? The all these things. I didn't want to believe it. I was in
Mm,
denial for several years, but I've got to get him away from her. It took me a long time, but like I said, I sit down and I'm like, wow, it's her. I was in denial for a few years. She's a school teacher, and
mm,
I go to people and ask for help, and it's like they don't want to believe me because she's been a school teacher for 30 years or whatever. And
Hmm.
because of that, people think she's a, you know, good person or whatever, you know. But, uh, but prayer and, I pray my heart out constantly. And my angels and the good Lord watch over me. And I know that they'll help me get through this one way or the other, you know. I have to
Yeah.
keep a good mindset because when you start to have a bad mindset, it's not good, you know. It's not. So,
Yeah, and
but
it's that whole if I don't want to say, if I don't love myself, or if I don't support just in mind, not even not I mean financially, but what I've had to also learn is that uh to have people follow or be interested, or um I've had to, just like get through just hard day after hard day, and just say, well, if I want to make this thing work, whatever that is, if it's just getting through the day, I'm gonna have to believe in myself for today. And I know I got a meeting
yes,
or different things that are going on, uh, and that might shine the opposite way. And you seem like a kind soul, and for others to just just take advantage of uh, everything is just I I hope people start to do better. I know by you stepping up and sharing your voice, your story, the trauma, and uh, that I'm just excited to be able to share your your story, because there's so many people that it again, like, we grow up, we don't think whether it's family or people we meet, we don't think that,
right,
like, people are bad or evil or demonic, or we grow up and we
yeah,
we don't think that. And so when that does happen, it's like, oh my gosh, am I really seeing that, or is my mind playing tricks on me? And it's so
yeah.
how yeah, so how did you come in contact with Taya, and again, be that a
Okay.
beacon?
Well, there is judges that have been bribed, and
Mm,
uh, I know that, for a fact around here because I've been to them trying to get help,
yeah.
So there's a lot of corruption going on, and I have been trying to get my trying to get help with all this, and I saw all that going on, and um, there's several of us girls that are all in this area trying to get help. Several of us are going through different adversities,
Mhm.
but we all kind of have the same common denominator. There's very crooked judges in this area, and so that's how we kind of came across each other on Facebook. I messaged her, and that we've talked back and forth for quite a while now.
Mhm.
She's good. She's a good girl. She's a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad that you're able to find a little bit of solace, and to have somebody to talk to, because it's hard when you talk to somebody, and if I don't want to say, like, you have to go through something to understand it, but when somebody's gone through something somewhat similar, and taken advantage of, and it makes those conversations all the more easier, because you don't have to spend all that emotional energy going through like every single step of
Right.
the way.
Yeah.
It's like I don't have to explain it. Like
We
we support each other. Yeah.
That's right. We just kind of understand each other. We know that one another, is going through it and need help. So we try to look out for one another. It's
Yeah.
it's this area in Kentucky is horrible. There's just so many people involved in this situation. Like there's been people paid off left and right.
Mm.
Like I said, I've been all over trying to get help for almost. It's been almost 13 years, and you know, it's. I was told that everything was left to me when my dad and my mom passed, and that my mom and brother got very jealous, envious, or whatever you want to call it, and came up with this evil plan to steal it, from me. And they all ganged up on me. Uh, my ex and my mom and brother. And at the time, I didn't know I couldn't trust them, at that time. And
Yeah.
it's just been, it's been really, really hard, you know. Uh, Connie had her brother, my uncle, grew up with two of the judges in Pike County. Like they
Oh,
were buddies, yes, all their lives. So, you know, it's a rough deal. It's a lot of corruption, that's for sure.
it is, and I'm glad to be I'm not glad I haven't. I'm glad to be part of the solution and exposing
Yeah,
with you and
yeah,
others because it really does need to be whether it's Kentucky or whether it's Columbia, wherever that is, it's we have to treat
right,
people humanely and whether we like to or
yes,
not.
right, yeah. I mean, just it's the fight for justice. And it's hard to get justice here when the main the people running the show are the main criminals. Is
Mhm.
themselves. They're the criminals. It's like stealing stuff from people, covering stuff up, and it's insane what I've seen happen and go on. It really is. So
So we're getting close to the end. We got probably about 3 or 4 minutes. Uh, so if you want to share words of encouragement, inspiration, uh, how again maybe reiterate how you know that how important God is to you, but to the person that is out there and is in the same boat, similar or knows somebody, what feel free to give whatever plugs you have and to share and just wanted to give you that opportunity here while we're closing out.
okay, uh, yes. If my I would say my advice would be to definitely get as close to God as possible and pray, and because there is a lot of evil in this world, but if you have God on your side, then uh, you should have nothing to fear.
Yeah.
So you just pray your little heart out and stay strong.
Oh my gosh, you're eh, so brave and strong to talk about that. I can't even imagine what's being uncovered and to have the mistreatment of our own our own brothers and sisters in humanity in our country, no matter where we live, that we don't have to be born royal to have the certain humane rights, and when it, and that's where the I think the one of the interesting parts is as the children, as they grow up, the way that their brain, as it grows in, the reasoning part is in the front, but the way the brain grows, it grows kind of from the back to the front. And so it's not until like in our 20s that our brain is, I guess, fully, or as close as fully functional. And so we don't, earlier in life, understand as much, or just no fear, or wanting to uh, find and we still want to find the good in people, but we still have to have a little bit of, okay, like, is somebody trying to, uh not slip roofie or anything, but is somebody trying to get something by me? Like you're saying, like with paperwork and things that now looking back, it's like, oh man,
Right.
yeah.
Yes. I just found out last year that I was adopted by my grandparents and nobody told me. I forgot to
Oh,
mention that. I want to throw that in there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Go
And
ahead.
I I started to question everything about Connie, and I was like, well, I want to do a DNA test. I want let's
Hmm.
have a DNA test done, and she totally lost it, refused to do the DNA test. So, you know, but refuses to tell me the truth. Also, you know, so I've uncovered so much family secrets and this and that. It's wild. You know? She stole all my grandparents' documents and everything. So I'm trying to go back now,
Hmm.
replace things and find this and that. And it's been really rough.
Oh, well, Bethany, you've been a light for uh, yourself, for those around you that really truly want to get to know you, and know you for who you are, that you aren't what others have made you out to be and taken advantage of, that you really do have great qualities. And uh, thanks for I mean,
Yeah.
not only being on the show, but thanks for valuing your life to continue to go on, because who would have thought how our paths cross, and how Taya mentioned you, and so I reached out, and and I really, I, I say, like, I know for a fact, but with a high degree of certainty, that there's at least one person that's gone through something similar, and there might be even something very similar of, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I was adopted. They might be thinking the same thing, and they're like, oh, maybe let me go do a DNA test, and through, heaven and hell, like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna do it. I'm gonna get it done, and I'm gonna check it out, and 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 that might help individuals to I'm with you, to just pray, get close to God, or whoever their higher authority is. There's reasons why we're here,
Yeah.
and I think this is one of the reasons
Yeah.
why you're still here, is to do exactly what you're doing tonight, and sharing your story and voice. And it's just unbelievable what you've had to and endure. And so there's anything that we can do, if you want to, we can do episodes down the line as things go, as uh, just let us know, because that's our goal, is to expose all any and all bad things, bad actors that are out there that are really stepping on people when and just taking advantage of them because it's oh my gosh. Ah,
Yeah.
so thank you so much, Bethany.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. I'm on the search for my biological mom now, uh, as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So yeah, it's a shock to think. Well, this I thought she was my mom. Her name's on my birth certificate. You know, that's all I've ever known to be a mom. But apparently, it's messed up. Apparently, she's not my biological. You know. So, but
yeah. It's oh my gosh. We actually one of our prior guests and we stay in pretty good contact. He was human trafficked and he was sent well, not only being trafficked, but then he was put in a mental institution. And when he was put in a mental institution, they went and changed his paperwork. So when you talk about like name on the birth certificate and all these things, he came out, he has two birth certificates. His name was changed twice. His mom's name was and I just and even still till to this day, it just boggles my mind. And um, then but when you think about it, if you have
yeah,
people in high places that are able to, override and make changes to official documents, it is like, what won't people do?
yes,
Uh,
I know exactly.
wow.
I know
Well,
now. That's I've been questioning that as well. You know, what I you really done. You know, it's questionable. That
yeah.
so
Well, thank you, Bethany, for joining us. Want to thank our viewers, our listeners, wherever you may
welcome.
be. And if you have any information that can help Bethany, can help individuals in and around her community, if she's your biological daughter, she'd love to hear from you. And if we're a conduit as an organization, please do reach out to us. Any
Yes.
any attorneys, any lawyers, anybody can help on the legal side that can practice in Kentucky, but if it's specific to Floyd County, uh, they can help her, please do reach out to us, reach out to her directly, but we will definitely, if you reach out to us, we'll get you in contact because the time's long past where people should be treated with dignity and respect. And I know there's a lot of uh, corrupt individuals, corrupt people at different levels, but I also know that there's people that are good people and then that they want to help. And Bethany is one of those people. So we want to alert your friends, alert people that may live in and around the area that could help. And finding her biological mom, that'd be so awesome to do. And then obviously to help with
Yes.
the legal challenges. We 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 hope and pray that from her being brave and strong and standing on a pedestal, not under the pedestal, that she's able to use our platform and share her voice. And so thank you, Bethany. Thank you, our viewers. Thank you, our listeners. We can't do this without you. So until next time, we like to say, if we can, let's celebrate everyone's voice, and let's see if we can all as as humanity, be a voice for ourselves or others that may not be able to share their voice because everybody is is given that as a human to share stories, to share events, to connect, to help others, and that's how we're gonna reach our goal of helping 3 billion. But it's even not even just us reaching that, it's all the people that have been helped and are helping others along the way because we know our time's limited on Earth and we don't get to take the money, the buildings, the cars, the whatever. We don't get to take those things with us. So we get to leave our legacy. And we want to thank each and every one of you, whether this is your first episode. We have over 360. You can find Taya's episode as well as Brandy's episode, and we have others of individuals that unfortunately have been taken advantage of way too much, and so that's why we're spending as much time as we are and hoping to expose as much as we can so people can live uh, a value lived life, that what they want to live, not what somebody in some high position deems that individuals should be able to live. So we'll see you next time, and God bless the United States of America, and God bless the individuals near and far across this world, and uh, seek God, seek your higher authority, and he won't lead you astray. So we'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody.